In this episode, recapping Petit LeMans, NASCAR playoffs continue in Vegas, and Aston Martin heading to Le Mans in a hypercar. Welcome to episode 282 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rao, what is new in the racing world?
Well, there's been a couple of races that happened this past weekend, which we will talk about in just a moment, but I have some sad news.
Uh-oh.
One of my favorite teams in the WEC, the World Endurance Championship, is not racing next year.
Porsche?
Really? No. Glickenhaus. Yep, they're done. Glickenhaus is done. Sad news.
It's more of a confirmation, because I think we had talked about that a long time ago.
Yeah, this has kind of been writing on the wall for a while.
Yes.
But they've officially confirmed Glickenhaus not moving forward in WC in 2024.
Dang.
Yeah, because they were such an underdog-y, scrappy little team that I think everyone loved because of that. So, yeah, that's sad news.
There's going to be enough competition. That's probably okay.
We'll talk more about who's going to be in that competition here in a few minutes.
Yes. But for now, let's talk about Little Le Mans. Petit Le Mans.
Petit.
That happened this past weekend. It was 10 hours at Road Atlanta. And there were a lot of really good races. A lot of really good racing happening. It was awesome to watch.
It was really quite good to watch.
I got to watch the last 5 hours of this race, and it was amazing.
I watched 20 minutes here and there while I was working throughout the day. And then when I got off the day, I just vegged out and watched the last probably 3.5 hours.
Yep. And it was everything I wanted from IMSA, to be honest.
Yes.
There was chaos. There were crashes. There were hot takes. There was calamity. And there was good racing.
Yeah. There were moves that made you scratch your head, and there were moves that made sense. Everyone seemed BOP-wise pretty even.
Yeah.
I didn't see any particular car was ridiculously quicker than anyone else.
Nope. Which was awesome to see. There were 4 manufacturers going in that had technically a chance to win the championship.
Yeah.
Porsche had a rough one with the number 7 car. They got caught up in an accident between GT cars slamming into each other and got terribly caught up. So that kind of took their championship hunt out early. I think that was 2 to 3 hours into the race.
It was actually the number 6 car.
Oh, was it the 6? Okay.
Yeah, the 6. That was the championship contending car, too.
Yes.
The championship contending car, the one that had the best chance of winning the whole thing, that got inadvertently swept away by 2 GT cars.
Wrong place, wrong time. Super unlucky.
It's just absolute. That is
luck.
Multi-class racing.
Yep.
To a T.
Yep. It kind of does sum up Porsche's season, though, which is it's promising, but then just some bit of luck and oddities have made it so it just didn't work.
And then heartbreak.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that left BMW, Cadillac, and Acura at a battle for the race win, which was kind of interesting because Cadillac and Acura got into it with each other.
They did. I mean, throughout the race, there was all sorts of stuff. There was, even leading up, there's P2s that were going off. There was good to make note before we move on to that last battle. Corvette.
Ooh. Well, okay. Lexus and Corvette.
Yeah.
Because those were the 2 championship contenders in GT. And each of them went into this race just saying, all we have to do is finish better than the other, right?
Yeah.
That was basically all they had to do. Turns out, they both DNF'd.
Yeah.
Who saw that coming?
Not me. Especially since that was the last race of Corvette racing ever. And that's just sad.
For that team, the Pratt & Miller team, yes.
For the factory team.
The
yes.
factory team. We
and
will
Jordan
see
Taylor.
the Corvette back next year.
Yes.
In a different team.
But yeah, watching that, they died. Lexus died, so that was just the way it ended.
Did you see the Lexus death?
I don't remember. I did see it, but I don't remember. What happened?
He went over into turn 3, which is the top of the hill. You crest the hill. And then he lost it and went into the dirt, and it just ripped all the front bodywork off the car.
That's right. The whole thing just went...
But it was magical at how well it ripped all the body panels off and kept everything else fine.
You're right. It was just it was like a one-piece suit that you just whoosh.
Yes. That was kind of funny.
So now, yes, let's get into that
The GTP battle?
Potential issue of GTP battling.
Okay, all right. They had a battle for was it the race lead at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, for the race lead. Not quite for the championship lead because they had to have other people finish in other positions, but
yeah,
equivalently for the race lead. Going into turn 1 at Road Atlanta, which is a right-hander up a hill, a really fast one. You only go down like 1 gear in those cars before you take that corner.
You may not even go down a gear in that car.
I think just one, but it's like a dab of brakes and then a turn in. And they went through side by side, and the Cadillac on the inside got real aggressive and took the racing line and pushed the Acura off the track.
Well, hold on a minute now. Did he intentionally push the Acura off the track? Or, frankly, did he even see him?
Oh, he had to see him.
See, I'm going to counter that.
No.
I'm going to counter that. Because at that point, your eyes aren't looking left.
No. But
yes.
If you're a professional racing driver, you have the awareness in your mirrors to know where the other car's at.
Sure.
Especially if you're battling for the lead in the final race of the championship.
Why would Albuquerque try to go around the outside there? It's never going to work.
No, you can, but I agree. Usually it won't work.
That was a high risk, high reward.
Oh, yeah.
It's never going to work. So why would there be a pushing off the track penalty that some people may be calling for?
If you see a gap and you're a racing driver, insert Senna quote here, right?
I understand.
So there was a gap.
Okay. Durrani had the gap too.
Wait, what? He had the inside of the corner.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then he didn't leave any racing room around the outside.
See, I'm thinking Albuquerque's got to take some blame here.
I don't think so. Because if you're a professional racing driver, you have to be good enough to leave room around the outside for cars to go too wide through that corner. Not only that, but the whole entire race, you are passing GT cars and LMP2s and LMP3s through that corner, going too wide. And you can't leave enough room for another competitor in your class to go too wide through? Because, to be clear, he didn't leave the room. There was no room for another car.
How could he pinch that off, though? There's no way he could have pinched that off on the inside at that speed.
You don't turn the wheel. You just track it out.
I don't think it was possible for Durrani to have left the room at that speed.
Yes, what you have to do is you have to overbrake the corner because you have to know that you're going to track out if you take the correct amount of speed, the normal amount of speed through the corner. And that's exactly what he does with traffic.
But
right?
Is that not also Albuquerque's problem to know, like, okay, I can't take this corner at that speed around the outside?
No, Albuquerque would have made the corner.
No, he would not have.
Durrani didn't let him make the corner.
No, he would not have made the corner at that speed. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he would have. Yeah.
Around the outside? With the car on the inside?
The car on the inside did not slow down enough to even have the intention to go too wide through that corner. The other big factor is, did you hear what happened to Albuquerque? He went to the hospital. Like, he got messed up.
I heard.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
I'm not saying Albuquerque should have gone, or I'm not saying he should have not gotten a penalty for Durrani, but it just seems like that is Albuquerque should also know better, but so should Durrani. I feel like they both just should have known better than that.
Yes, they should. As professional racing drivers, you should be able to go through a corner side by side without having to punt either of you off the track.
Should, and the last race of the season and wanting to finish better than the other are two very different things.
Okay, then you set the precedent for IMSA to just murder people. Like,
to me, that wasn't a full murder.
It is dangerous. Turn 1 at Road Atlanta is probably 170 miles an hour in those cars.
Don't disagree with that.
You cannot push people off a racetrack at 170 miles an hour.
Again, I don't think Durrani was pushing him off. I think that's a high-risk move that Albuquerque tried to make, and it couldn't make him. He just couldn't make it.
If I were the race stewards, I would have penalized Durrani all you could, and then probably would have fined him or given him license points. That would have gone that dirty. Much. That looked dirty to me. Not only that, but you have to tell the rest of the teams in the series, you can't do this. This is properly dangerous stuff, guys. People die in motorsports doing this. I understand it's for the championship, but you can't have people die for the championship.
True. I don't know. I think they made the right call.
There was a call at, if you remember, the Rolex 24 from it was probably 3 years ago at this point. There was a Cadillac and an Acura battling on the final lap, and they both went into turn 1 at Daytona. And I think the Acura punted off or spun the Cadillac, and race control told John Hindhaugh and the Radio LeMans guys that if it's the final lap at the Rolex 24 and you go for the gap and you run into somebody and like whatever happens, it's the final lap at the Rolex 24. This wasn't the final lap. There was like 2 hours left.
An hour and 10 minutes left.
Enough time that like the race is not over there, clearly.
Yeah, but there also wasn't contact.
There was.
Really?
No, there was pretty good contact.
Into the wall, yes.
No, between the two cars.
From the replays I saw, it looked like barely a sneeze under the other car.
No, I think it would have broken the steering of the Acura.
Doubtful.
I think so.
I disagree with you on that one.
Okay. I think that'd be an iRacing meatball.
I don't think that's meatballable.
We can agree to disagree. Regardless, the circumstances played out that the same car that wrecked the Acura, the Wayne Taylor Racing Acura, won the championship.
It did.
Oh. Okay, IMSA. You can just murder people to win championships. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. Just crash them all. Put a giant front bumper on there with a cow plow and just run into all of them. Whatever.
That's not how that goes.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Ugh.
The driving standards there were terrible. They were absolutely terrible.
Incident.
No.
Okay.
That was bad racing.
Okay.
Anyway, the rest of the race was pretty good.
It was. There was even some GT car issues after that restart too.
Yes. There was weird stuff happening at the end of that race.
Do you remember the race ended under caution?
Yeah,
right?
Of course it was always going to.
Yes, 100%. That was just going to be a bloodbath from the beginning of start.
Yeah.
But at the restart from the big crash with Albuquerque and Durrani, when the GT cars started to get their green flag, the Lambo just decided he was going to be literally a bull in a china shop. Did you see the replay of that?
He put the front cow plow on his car, and he said, IMSA driving standards, baby, straight through the back of everybody. I don't care.
It was... I mean, as they were coming out of the last chicane, he's just like pinball, ding, 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 ding,
yep.
ding, ding, ding.
Yep.
And
just
then
hit them all.
I looked away from TV for like 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden, my favorite car in the field is fully engulfed in flames. What happened? How are you on fire? Fully and totally on fire. Did you see what he did too? He pulled off, went to one of the Mars and said, "Can I borrow that fire extinguisher, please?"
Yeah.
Jan Halen put out his own car.
He did a good job at it, too.
He did a damn good job at it.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with that.
What happened there?
I don't know, man. Like I said, the driving standards in that race were great until the final 2 hours. Then it was just terrible. It was awful at that point.
Sure,
and those are supposed to be when like the professionals are supposed to go in. Those are the nighttime guys that should be really good.
Sure was exciting, though.
Boinked into each other.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So some finishers. The race was won by Meyershank Racing, which is their last race as a GTP car.
How awkward is that?
Yeah,
their last race in IMSA.
Yeah, they're dead.
How awkward is that?
They're focusing on Indy, but
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so there's that. So MSR wins. That is with the Tom Blomqvist, Colin Brown, and the Elio Castroneves car. P2 was a Cadillac. That was Sebastian Bourdais, Renger Van de Zandt, and Scott Dixon. And then P3. This is the shock. Did not see this one coming. This was a Porsche customer entry.
Ooh, that's right.
The Proton competition,
that's
Porsche
right.
963,
Yep.
that had Harry Tincknell, Jan Bruni, and Neil Yanni, they got podium.
Yeah.
The customer entry Porsche got podium? Mm-hmm. What? And then you had, so P3, P4, P5 were all Porsches. Then you had the number 7 factory team. That was Matt Campbell, Felipe Nasr, and Joseph Newgarden, the IndyCar driver. Then you had in his first outing, the other customer Porsche that had Jenson Button finish top 5.
Dang.
Jenson Button in that JDC Miller yellow Porsche. That was Vanderhelm, Mike Rockenfeller, and Jenson Button. What?
I don't really know what to think about that. It confuses me.
What?
That like all the customer Porsche teams are finishing better than the factory Porsche team. I know one just got unlucky, but the other one was still running, right? The other factory team,
and that finished in between the two customer teams.
Okay, that's odd to me. Interesting, but odd.
To be honest, I like to see it.
You do?
Yeah.
You like to see the customer teams doing?
I do. I like to see the customer teams doing well. Because if you're a customer team, what incentive is there to be a customer team if you can't beat the factory team?
Yeah, but if your business is selling race cars to customers, why do you have your own race car racing against your customers' race cars? Like, it's a business model
business
problem.
Model, I'll give it that, but we're not here to talk about entrepreneurship. We're talking about racing. So there's that.
Unfortunately, racing is big business.
Yeah, it is. Very.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This it's interesting. We'll see how next year goes. I don't think that they're bringing any more customer teams in for next year. Do you know?
No, Porsche pretty much told everyone we're not doing we're not doing new customer teams for the next year of WEC and IMSA.
Right.
Because I think they're a bit overwhelmed with what they got now.
I am sure they are. I also heard that they weren't like quite sharing data between the Penske team and all the other teams, which is kind of odd to me.
Maybe.
But I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
No idea.
Yeah. Regardless, it was a great race. Did you listen to the Radio LeMans broadcast?
Periodically.
Did you listen to the end of it?
No.
They signed off in a very interesting way that leads everyone to believe there will be no Radio LeMans next year.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What was the sign-off?
Thank you for all the years. We're very appreciative of everything, and we'll see you guys.
Oh, no.
We won't see you guys next year. The contract was not renewed by IMSA. Yeah. So
John Hindhaugh not calling IMSA races?
John Hindhaugh might not be calling IMSA races.
Oh, no. That's a tragedy.
Yeah. From what the rumors are, the Peacock broadcast and the NBC broadcast is heavily being pushed by NASCAR. Which is terrible.
Yeah.
We'll see if Radio LeMans is going to not broadcast it with the synced up audio and video, kind of like they've done with like the Le Mans stuff. Mm-hmm. They can still, I think, broadcast their own version of the race. Yeah. But I don't know if they'll have people on the grounds. I don't know if they'll have the pit team. I don't know if they'll have like the coordination with all the interviews. It just seems like, what are we doing? Why? Why would you get rid of that team?
Radio LeMans is the best in the business.
By a long shot.
They are the all-time best of
yeah
any kind of real.
That would honestly be a big turnoff to IMSA racing for me. Like, I absolutely hate listening to the NBC broadcast. They are terrible.
They're not great.
No, they don't know. They don't like keep up with what's happening in the race. They just have the like scripted talking points for the TV that they talk about, and that's it. They don't actually talk about what's happening, which is it's so bad.
Agree.
We'll see. Well, there's already like petitions on Reddit and people up in arms about it, and we'll see if they end up coming back. But I can't imagine IMSA without John Hindhaugh.
Again, John Hindhaugh not calling IMSA races is just weird.
Not only that, but that means that Porsche Cup, which also has the same RLM team, MX-5 Cup, the Michelin Pilot Challenge,
VP Sports Car Challenge, VP Racing,
full-on IMSA. That's like at least 5. I think the new Mustang Challenge series,
Lamborghini Trofeo.
There's like so many series that if they don't renew this contract, who do they get to broadcast the race?
All right, Jimmy, we got turn 2 looking kind of wild.
We'll see.
We'll see. It's going to be something.
That was the biggest disappointment of the weekend so far. Yeah. So I think that's everything on Petit Le Mans. Now, there was some other racing that did happen this past weekend.
A little bit, yep.
There was good old NASCAR.
There was.
NASCAR was out at Las Vegas, which is a classic NASCAR oval. You can run like 4 to 5 wide. There are a billion grooves, and they do run 4 to 5 wide there.
Yeah.
If you're into traditional NASCAR oval stuff, this is good.
Watching the highlights, that was quite an exciting looking thing.
It is good quality racing as well. They will go 4 wide, and it seemed like there were some issues with some of the tires.
Yeah, very much so.
From what I could tell, right rears were going down in a lot of different cars.
Specifically right rears.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was a suspension setup problem with these cars, with these teams, if it's just camber, caster, yada, yada, tire pressures. We don't know. But regardless, almost every single caution that happened from that race was a right rear.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think if you're the tire supplier, you're not like, all right, I guess we got to make changes to this compound, or
yeah, something's a little weird here.
Something's not right. You shouldn't be blowing that many right rear tires.
Agreed.
That's an odd one. But the good racing that did come out of this was some of the playoff battles.
Yeah.
And Mr. Kyle Larson was in that playoff battle and also took down the win.
Yeah, Kyle Larson took down the win.
Yep.
Then you had, real quick for your podium, Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch.
Nice. So that means that Kyle Larson will be one of the drivers that does have a chance when it goes over to Phoenix for the championship event.
Yes, we are moving on to Homestead this weekend.
Back here in Florida.
Yeah.
Cool.
Real quick, your 4 drivers that are currently looking decent in the playoff standings. You got Kyle Larson, William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin. Then you got 4 drivers that are on the bubble that are going to be eliminated after Martinsville on October 30th, which are Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, and Chris Buescher.
Okay. So we continue to go on. 2 races left until the cutoff, and then the final race in Phoenix.
Yep.
It's all coming down to the end.
Yep.
So one other topic that I want to quickly chat about, which is that Aston Martin has come around, and they have us a race car.
Yeah, so going back, I don't know, a year, 2 years, when did the Valkyrie Hypercar first come out? I think it was 2 years ago or so. Either way, 2 years ago or so, Aston Martin was like, all right, we're building this cool hypercar, and we have dreams to take it to Le Mans. And then when they built it, they're like, oh, yeah, this whole homologation and like building it to specifications of hypercar, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. So why don't we just make this a cool hypercar for people to buy?
Right.
Turns out they've decided to enter this to 2025 Le Mans.
Let's go.
So, all right. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah, brother, because it's a V12.
Have you heard the audio clips of this?
I have not yet, but I'm sure it screams.
Oh, my God.
Is it like old F1 V12?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
It's the high-pitched.
And just look at it. It looks so much more different than every other hypercar.
Oh, it looks great.
This will be my Porsche? Nope. Goodbye.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Aston all day.
You know?
Honestly, this will be my favorite hypercar. It's the most different looking of all the cars. It's going to sound the most bestest.
Yeah.
When you compare and contrast the V12 of this to that deep V8 of the Cadillac, oh my God, to be on the ground at Le Mans for that. Yep. Oh, jeez Louise. God, that would sound so good.
Yep.
Hear that super high-pitched Aston screaming by you, and then you hear that blah.
I think they're planning on coming to IMSA as well, right?
Possibly.
Okay.
As of now, it's starting to go for a Le Mans entry first, and then potentially expanding to IMSA in the rest of the WC calendar. But
yeah.
God, I'm so excited for this.
It's going to sound amazing. It already looks great, and I think that it will look very, very close to this.
That's what the Valkyrie looks like standard.
Yes.
I mean, it's got extra fins and things, but yeah. Yes.
It is
Give
a pretty
me
car.
more of this.
Yeah, that'll be super cool.
They're going to be fighting Toyota, Porsche, Cadillac, BMW, Lamborghini, Alpine, Peugeot, Ferrari, Van Wall, Isotta Fraschini, maybe Acura even.
Yep.
And now Aston.
What more could you ask for?
Oh.
That's awesome.
What more you could ask for a Porsche that could sound better and be more competitive?
Yeah, I'm glad that Aston is going into this, not so much thinking like scientifically, how do we make this the most efficient car possible? They're just like, make it cool. Just make it cool.
Yeah. When they at one point said we're not going to do the LeMans stuff anymore because it's just too much of a pain in the ass, and all their fans are kind of like, oh man, and then everyone's realizing they're like, oh wait a minute, that actually would be kind of cool.
Right?
Why don't we do that?
They're gonna do it. Yeah. It does have the IMSA sticker on the front, which leads me to believe I think they are going to have an IMSA entry, which would be awesome.
I'm hoping they do.
Oh, I want to see this at Daytona. That'd be amazing.
I want to hear this at Daytona.
Yeah.
I want to hear this at Daytona.
Yep.
Yeah, baby. Please.
That's exciting.
Ooh. Yeah. So that gave me the chills just thinking about that car.
Do we have any racing coming up this weekend?
A little bit, yeah. We got NASCAR. The playoffs are continuing in Miami, like I mentioned earlier. And Formula One is back.
That's right.
Formula One is back at the American Grand Prix at COTA, Circuit of the Americas.
Yep.
So it's pretty much all the main stage racing we're at this weekend. I'm sure there's other small support stuff, but no WEC until the 4th of November still. So we're still WEC lists, and IMSA's nothing until January next year.
Yep. I think that we are 3 weeks away from seeing the Las Vegas race, right?
3, 4, something like that.
Last I also saw the race time, the start time for the race, 1 a.m. Eastern.
Why are they starting it at 10 p.m.?
I don't know.
What? I will not be watching that.
No.
Why are we doing this, Formula One? What is wrong with you? Are you serious?
That's what I saw when I Googled like F1 races, and you go scroll through the Google thing. The start time for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
There's no way that can be right.
I'm like, what time is that in the UK? 6, 4, 5?
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that's the same time it started in Eastern for Suzuka.
Yeah,
for
we'll see. We'll see if it actually happens.
They race. Oh my God!
We'll see.
Okay,
it's gonna be
there's that.
Yeah.
So it's going to wrap us up for episode 282. If you're watching and listening, thank you for watching and listening first and foremost. But if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and drop a comment on the video. Let us know, what did you think about the IMSA season ending at Petit LeMans? And if you're listening on audio only, send us those thoughts via social. Facebook is We Are Auto, Instagram is We Are Auto _, YouTube is We Are Auto, and our website is weareauto.io. So, thanks again. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.